Chapter 6: Practical Techniques in Mental Healing. These techniques, skills, and methods must be learned. If you want your prayers to be answered, you must start with proper techniques and methods. Prayer is the formulation of an idea concerning something we wish to accomplish. Prayer is a soul's sincere desire. Your desire is your prayer. It comes out of your deepest needs, and it reveals the things you want in life. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. That is the real nature of prayer, the effective expression of life's hunger and thirst for peace, harmony, health, and joy, and all the other blessings of life. The passing over technique for impregnating the subconscious. This consists essentially in inducing the subconscious mind to take over your request as handed it by the conscious mind. This passing over is best accomplished in the reverie-like state. Know that in your deeper mind is infinite intelligence and infinite power. Just calmly think over what you want. See it coming into fuller fruition from this moment forward. Be like the little girl who had a very bad cough and a sore throat. She declared firmly and repeatedly, "It is passing away now. It is passing away now." It passed away in about an hour. Use this technique with complete simplicity and naivete. Your subconscious will accept your blueprint. All the experiences and everything that enters into your life depend upon the nature of the building blocks that you use in the construction of your mental home. If your blueprint is full of mental patterns of fear, worry, anxiety, or lack, and if you are despondent, doubtful, and cynical, then the quality of mental materials you are instilling in your mind will come forth as more toil, care, tension, anxiety, and limitation of all kinds. The most fundamental and the most far-reaching activity in life is that which you build into your mentality every waking hour. Your word is silent and invisible. Nevertheless, it is real. You are building your mental home all the time, and your thoughts and mental imagery represent your blueprint. Get a new blueprint. Build silently by realizing peace, harmony, and joy, and goodwill in the present moment. The secret and art of true prayer. The term science means knowledge, which is coordinated, arranged, and systematized. Let us think of the science and art of true prayer as it deals with the fundamental principles of life and the techniques and processes by which they can be demonstrated in your life, as well as in the life of every human being when he applies them faithfully. The art is your technique or process, and the science behind it is the definite response of creative mind to your mental picture or thought. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Here you are told, you shall receive that for which you ask. It shall be opened to you when you knock, and you shall find that for which you are searching. This teaching implies the definiteness of mental and spiritual laws. There is always a direct response from the infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind to your conscious thinking. If you ask for bread, you will not receive a stone. You must ask believing if you are to receive. Your mind moves from the thought to the thing. Unless there is first an image in the mind, it cannot move, for there would be nothing for it to move toward. Your prayer, which is your mental act, must be accepted as an image in your mind before the power from your subconscious will play upon it and make it productive. You must reach a point of acceptance in your mind, an unqualified and undisputed state of agreement. This contemplation should be accompanied by a feeling of joy and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of your desire. The sound basis for the art and science of true prayer is your knowledge and complete confidence that the movement of your conscious mind will gain a definite response from your subconscious mind, which is one with boundless wisdom and infinite power. By following this procedure, your prayers will be answered. The visualization technique. The easiest and most obvious way to formulate an idea is to visualize it, to see it in your mind's eye, as vividly as if it were alive. I always use visualization technique before I speak to an audience. I quiet the wheels of my mind so that I may present to the subconscious mind my images of thought. Then I picture the entire auditorium. Its seats are filled with men and women who are illuminated and inspired by the infinite healing presence in each one. I see them as radiant, happy, and free. Having first built up the idea in my imagination, I quietly sustain it there as a mental picture, while I imagine I hear people saying, "I am healed. I feel wonderful. I am transformed." I keep this up for 10 minutes or more. I let myself know and feel that each person's mind and body are saturated with love, wholeness, beauty, and perfection. My awareness grows to the point where in my mind I can hear the voices of the multitude proclaiming their health and happiness. Then I release the whole picture and go on the platform. The mental movie method. The Chinese say, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." William James, the father of American psychology, stressed the fact that the subconscious mind will bring to pass any picture held in the mind and backed by faith. Act as though I am, and I will be. A number of years ago, I was in the Middle West lecturing in several states, and I desired to have a permanent location in the general area from which I could serve those who desired help. I traveled far, but the desire did not leave my mind. One evening, while in a hotel in Spokane, Washington, I relaxed completely on a couch, immobilized my attention, and in a quiet, passive manner imagined that I was talking to a large audience, saying in effect, "I am glad to be here. I have prayed for the ideal opportunity." I saw in my mind's eye the imaginary audience, and I felt the reality of it all. I played the role of the actor, dramatized this mental movie, and felt satisfied that this picture was being conveyed to my subconscious mind, which would bring it to pass in its own way. The next morning, on awakening, I felt a great sense of peace and satisfaction, and in a few days' time I received a telegram asking me to take over an organization in the Midwest, which I did, and I enjoyed it immensely for several years. The method outlined here appeals to many who have described it as the mental movie method. I have received numerous letters from people who listen to my radio talks and weekly public lectures, telling me of the wonderful results they get using this technique in the sale of their property. I suggest to those who have homes or property for sale that they satisfy themselves in their own mind that their price is right. Then I claim that the infinite intelligence is attracting to them the buyer who really wants to have the property, and who will love it and prosper in it. After having done this, I suggest that they quiet their mind, relax, let go, and get into a drowsy, sleepy state, which reduces all mental effort to a minimum. Then, they are to picture the check in their hands, rejoice in the check, give thanks for the check, and go off to sleep, feeling the naturalness of the whole mental movie created in their own mind. They must act as though it were an objective reality, and the subconscious mind will take it as an impression, and through the deeper currents of the mind, the buyer and the seller are brought together. A mental picture held in the mind, backed by faith, will come to pass. The Baudouin technique. A very simple way of securing this is to condense the idea which is to be the object of suggestion, to sum it up in a brief phrase which can be readily graven on the memory, and to repeat it over and over again as a lullaby. A young widow was caught up in a prolonged and bitter family dispute. On my advice, she coined a phrase, "It is finished in divine order." To her, these words meant a harmonious conclusion of the dispute. Every night, for 10 nights, she sat in her armchair, systematically relaxed her body, and entered into a sleepy state. Then she affirmed, slowly, quietly, and feelingly, the statement, "It is finished in divine order," over and over again. She found herself achieving a sense of inner peace and all-pervading tranquility. Then she went off into her deep, normal sleep. On 11th day, the suit was settled outside the court. The sleeping technique. When you enter into a sleepy, drowsy state, effort is reduced to a minimum. The conscious mind is submerged to a great extent. The highest degree of outcropping of the subconscious occurs just prior to sleep and just after we awaken. In this state, the negative thoughts, which tend to neutralize your desire and prevent acceptance by subconscious mind, are absent. Suppose you want to get rid of a destructive habit. Assume comfortable posture, relax body, and be still. Get into a sleepy state and say quietly, over and over, as a lullaby, I am completely free from this habit. Harmony and peace of mind reigns supreme. Repeat these words slowly, quietly, and lovingly for 5 to 10 minutes at night and in the morning. Each time you repeat these words, the emotional value becomes greater. When urge comes to repeat the negative habit, repeat this formula out loud to yourself. By this means, you induce the subconscious to accept the idea, and healing follows. The thank you technique. It is recommended that we make known our requests with praise and thanksgiving. Some extraordinary results follow this simple method of prayer. The thankful heart is always close to the creative forces of the universe, causing countless blessings to flow toward it by the law of reciprocal relationship, based on the cosmic law of action and reaction. A young mother with 3 children was without a job and no support. Every night and morning for about 3 weeks, she repeated, "Thank you, Father, for my wealth." She did this in relaxed, peaceful manner, and continued until the feeling of thankfulness dominated her mind. Her mind and heart were lifted to the point of acceptance. When thoughts of lack, poverty, and distress came into her mind, she would say again, "Thank you, Father," as often as necessary. Very soon, she got a job in a company in which she had worked 5 years back. The affirmative method. In praying, use not vain repetition. The power of your affirmation lies in intelligent application of definite and specific positives. It is normal to be healthy and abnormal to be sick. When you affirm health, harmony, and peace for yourself or another. When you affirm health, harmony, and peace for yourself or another, you rearrange negative patterns of your subconscious mind. The result of the affirmative process depends on conforming to the principles of life. The principles are always of positive things. I prayed for my sister in England, who was to be operated for removal of gallstones. Several times a day, I withdrew all thoughts from contemplation of my sister's symptoms. Calmly, confidently, I affirmed as follows. This prayer is for my sister Catherine. She is relaxed and at peace, poised, balanced, serene, and calm. The healing intelligence of her subconscious mind that created her body is now transforming every cell, nerve, tissue, muscle, and bone of her being, according to the perfect pattern of all organs lodged in her subconscious mind. Silently, quietly, all distorted thought patterns of her subconscious mind are removed and dissolved, and vitality, wholeness, and beauty of the life principle are made manifest in every atom of her being. She is now open and receptive to the healing currents that are flowing through her like a river, restoring her to perfect health, harmony, and peace. All distortions and ugly images are now washed away by the infinite ocean of peace flowing through her. At the end of 2 weeks, her X-ray was negative. The surgery was called off due to the remarkable recovery. The argumentative method. It consists of spiritual reasoning. You convince yourself and the patient that the sickness is due to false beliefs, groundless fears, and negative patterns lodged in the subconscious mind. The disease or ailment is due to distorted, twisted pattern of thought that has taken form in the body. Explain to the sick person that the basis of all healing is a change of belief. You also point out that the subconscious mind created the body and all its organs. Therefore, it knows how to heal it, can heal it, and is doing so now as you speak. You argue in the courtroom of your mind that the disease is a shadow of the mind based on disease-soaked, morbid thought imagery. You continue to build up all the evidence you can muster on behalf of the healing power within, which created all the organs in the first place, and which has a perfect pattern of every cell, nerve, and tissue within it. Then you render a verdict in the courthouse of your mind in favor of yourself and your patient. You liberate the sick one by faith and spiritual understanding. Your mental and spiritual evidence is overwhelming. Here being but one mind, what you feel is true will be resurrected in the experience of the patient. This procedure is essentially the argumentative method used by Dr. Quimby of Maine from 1849 to 1869. The absolute method is like modern ultrasound therapy. Many people throughout the world practice this form of prayer treatment with wonderful results. The person using the absolute method mentions the name of the patient, such as John Jones, then quietly and silently thinks of God and his qualities and attributes, such as God is all bliss, boundless love, infinite intelligence, all-powerful, boundless wisdom, absolute harmony, indescribable beauty and perfection. As he quietly thinks along these lines, he is lifted up in consciousness into a new spiritual wavelength, at which times he feels the infinite ocean of God's love is now dissolving everything unlike itself in the mind and body of John Jones, for whom he is praying. He feels all the power and love of God are now focused on John Jones, and whatever is bothering or vexing him is now completely neutralized in the presence of the infinite ocean of life and love. The absolute method of prayer might be likened to the sound wave or sonic therapy recently shown by a distinguished physician in Los Angeles. He has an ultra-sound wave machine which oscillates at a tremendous speed and sends sound waves to any area of the body to which it is directed. These sound waves can be controlled, and he told me of achieving remarkable results in dissolving arthritic calcareous deposits, as well as the healing and removal of other disturbing conditions. To the degree that we rise in consciousness by contemplating qualities and attributes of God, do we generate spiritual electronic waves of harmony, health, and peace. Many remarkable healings follow this technique of prayer. The decree method. Power goes into our word according to the feeling and faith behind it. When we realize the power that moves the world is moving on our behalf and is backing up our word, our confidence and assurance grow. You do not try and add power to power. Therefore, there must be no mental striving, coercion, force, or mental wrestling. A young girl used the decree method on a young man who was constantly phoning her, pressing her for dates, and meeting her at her place of business. She found it very difficult to get rid of him. She decreed as follows: I release man's name unto God. He is in the true place at all times. I am free and he is free. I now decree that my words go forth into infinite mind, and it brings it to pass. It is so. She said he vanished, and she has never seen him since, adding, it was as though the ground swallowed him up.